Good morning and welcome to another edition of the Daily Fix. I am your usual host, Advocate Tulo Hoyane. It's a lovely Wednesday morning. Another day, another story. The block gets thicker and thicker and thicker. What do I have for you this morning? This morning we are trying to tie the pieces together now. Let me begin by saying I have information from one of the investigators, Constable Tapadima. Tapadima, in essence, says, we were thrown off the trail. We were misled. So that led them away from, there were 3 teams, remember, that were dispatched from the Vosloorus police station. 1 to Mpumalanga, 1 to Limpopo, and 1 to KZN. So he says, all these 3 teams were just being thrown off the track. That was not an investigation, because they were fed a story. They were fed a version. In other words, they were not, tasked with making an investigation. Because when a matter is reported, when police undertake an investigation, they will first of all process the scene. That is the starting point. You don't leave the scene and start running in all sorts of directions before the scene of crime or the crime scene is dealt with by forensics, by everybody else, right? Until this crime scene is processed and done with, only then can you go in other directions. In other words, what you get on the crime scene will then lead you somewhere else. But as soon as they gather the following day, 10 hours later, at the Vosloorus police station, he says everybody was there, the Hawks, everybody, you name them, crime intelligence, they were all there. 10 hours later, they are then thrown off the trail to go in the different directions in which they are sent. Now, look at it this way. I am now getting in touch with Stefo, right? Who in turn has got in touch with Longwe Twala. Remember, Longwe Twala was there. Longwe Twala was there in the house, right? Longwe Twala was there in the house. And I rely on Longwe Twala because he is an eyewitness. In fact, he says, the gun was mine. She could dispossess me of the gun. So I have here an eyewitness. This is what I'm saying. I'm going to deal with real people here. I'm not going to deal with fictitious people. I have an investigator. The investigator was part of it all. He knows hands-on. He does not rely on second-hand or even third-hand information. So this is how the plot goes. When we now have the investigator is corroborated, right? The evidence of the investigator is corroborated by that of Longwe, as related to Tefo in jail, right? This is why I'm saying the plot is thickening. The plot is thickening. And as it gets thicker and thicker and thicker, it is leading us more away from the theory of 636. We are moving away from 636. The only possible and credible theory that we now have is the theory that there were no intruders in the house. There were no intruders in the house. But we'll have to counterbalance these two versions and see which of the two is credible. And I am coming from another angle. The police and whoever was involved, Guininda and all the others, took a different angle. But I have another angle. I have an angle. And my angle is strong. My angle is strong. They don't have an eyewitness. They rely on circumstantial evidence. In a court of law, eyewitness evidence carries far more weight than circumstantial evidence. There's that circumstantial evidence that, the gun that shot Senzo was linked by ballistic tests to one of the accused, Bongani Ntanzi, right? There is that theory. That is circumstantial evidence. But in that sense, what Longwe has told Tefo completely rubbishes that. It completely rubbishes that because Longwe is an eyewitness. He says, I know it all. I know it all. He saw it all. He was there. He was in the house. So how then do you discard eyewitness evidence in favor of circumstantial evidence? That does not add up. Gininda, you cannot tell us that because it was a prosecution-led investigation, all these angles were ignored. And the prosecutors just decided to go with one version. What I would call a fictitious version. With the evidence that I have, the intruder theory is fictitious. That is what I'm trying to prove. So this is where we are now. I am making plans now to talk to Tifo. I think I'll be talking to Tifo today. I've got Tifo's numbers. I'll be talking to Tifo today. And tomorrow morning, I'll bring you feedback of my conversation with Tifo. I guarantee I'll do that. The plot thickens and thickens and thickens. Now, like I said yesterday, this is not an easy initiative. I knew what I was getting into when I started this exercise. And a lot of people are coming up with positive, comments and encouragement, words of encouragement. God bless you all. There are also a lot of people who are coming with a lot of negativity, who maybe have their own nefarious, objectives. But I never get deterred. I'm not a small boy. Read my lips and read my face. I'm not a small boy. I don't easily get deterred by people. I've pursued things before in my life, and this is just another one. This is nothing special for me. I've always pursued justice. It just so happens that in this particular instance, Senzo is a prominent member, or Senzo was a prominent member of society. But I've pursued lesser causes, and nothing deters me. Along the way, I know I'll pick up enemies, but I'll pick up a lot of friends. I'll pick up a lot of friends, and it is the friends that matter to me, and not the enemies. Having said that, let us look forward to tomorrow's episode. My conversation with Tefo. Remember, Tefo is sitting in jail at Sun City, the Johannesburg prison. Thank you very much for watching. I really, really appreciate the support that you are giving me. The subscriptions are flowing in. The views are flowing in, like the Val River. I was born on the banks of the Val River. This is why I always refer to the Val River. I like the Val River. It's just a valley. I'm a valley. So I'll bring you that conversation that I'm going to have with Tefo in tomorrow's version. Thank you very much for watching, and please kindly subscribe. Have a nice day.